dangerously defective, what we're learning about a semi pulled off the road for safety violations. Home from Ukraine, what a Saskatoon nurse volunteering her time in the war-torn country says about her experience. And a Saskatchewan paramedic calls it a career, a look back at 50 years of paramedicine.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We begin tonight with new details about a commercial semi-truck taken off a Saskatchewan highway for being unsafe. The driver is no longer employed, and the company is responding to questions about the damage. CTV's Laura Woodward has the story.
This video posted to social media shows the moments before a semi-truck was taken off the highway.
That is what the driver was looking through.
Both side windows of the cab smashed out and covered with duct tape, and the windshield severely damaged.
That's their mirror that they have attempted to red-green together with duct tape. How a professional driver could get behind the wheel of that vehicle, deem it safe for operation after a pre-trip inspection and take it on the road is something that is just beyond comprehension.
Calgary-based company Southwest Bulk says the driver is no longer employed and says the damage happened from another vehicle. Quote, "Our driver was parked at a customer's site when another vehicle backed into his truck, resulting in damage to the mirror and windshields. The company says a tow truck was dispatched, but the driver chose to keep on driving." Corman Park Police say the semi had been on the road for at least 6 hours.
Your line of sight is obstructed by duct tape. Your mirrors are covered by duct tape. There is no way you can safely operate that vehicle. But on top of that, people who operate commercial vehicles are professional drivers.
The professional drivers are required to meet, pretty strict standards.
In Canada, commercial trucking comes with regulations, rules on the condition of the vehicle, a driver's medical fitness, and how long they can be behind the wheel. By law, drivers must inspect their vehicle before every trip.
So how could this pass a pre-trip inspection?
Well, it wouldn't have. So it wouldn't have passed a pre-trip inspection by any means, or any type of inspection. So it should never have even gone out on the road.
Corman Park Police are thanking the off-duty RCMP officer that reported the semi. The truck was immediately towed and the driver has been ticketed under the Traffic Safety Act. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon police are investigating the city's first homicide of 2026. They say at about 5:30 this morning, they were told about two 25-year-old men who went to St. Paul's Hospital to be treated for stab wounds. One died of his injuries. The other is in stable condition. No other details have been released. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. A charge against a Saskatchewan man charged in the death of his wife has been upgraded. In November, 68-year-old Kevin Searcy was charged with second-degree murder in the death of 69-year-old Diane Searcy in Snowden. RCMP were called to do a wellness check at a home in the community and found Diane dead. Kevin Searcy is now facing a charge of first-degree murder. He is scheduled to appear in Nipawin Provincial Court June 15th. RCMP are looking for a man serving time at the Saskatoon Correctional Centre. 53-year-old Dale Patrick was reported missing from the centre after last being seen on Whitecap, Dakota Nation yesterday morning. Police have been checking places he is known to frequent and following up on information received. City police are also looking for him. He also has connections to North Battleford and Alberta. Anyone who knows where Dale Patrick is should contact police. We are learning more about the condition of the truck involved in a fatal crash in Saskatoon in 2024. On June 11th of 2024, Wiley Gunnar Vermette was driving a truck that collided with an SUV on Quebec Avenue near 39th Street East. A 22-year-old woman died of her injuries. 3 others were injured, 1 paralyzed. An agreed statement of facts shows the truck Vermette was driving was put together with parts from multiple trucks. It was also chipped to allow the vehicle to accelerate faster, and the back brakes did not work. Court documents also show Vermette's truck was unregistered and its license plate belonged to his father's vehicle. Vermette has pleaded guilty to 1 count of dangerous driving causing death and 2 counts of dangerous driving causing bodily harm. He is scheduled to be sentenced on April 30th. An update from RCMP as they investigate a string of robberies in central Saskatchewan. They've re-released this image of a person seen at a community building that was broken into last month in Unity. The incident is one of multiple break-and-enters being investigated in Craik, Davidson, Purdue, Biggar, and Unity between January 5th and 8th. RCMP say a person in a video released last week in connection to this investigation has been identified and is no longer a suspect. If you know the person in this photo, you are asked to contact RCMP. Jeff, the streets have been very messy these days.
I think that covers it very well. Messy indeed, and it's going to continue to be messy, well, until springtime. But in the short period of time, in the short term, yes, it's going to be a very messy situation because temperatures are going to remain mild, hot in some respects, depending on how you look at it, because temperatures will be at least 15 degrees or certainly around 15 degrees warmer than seasonal for many locations. We're keeping our eye on a system that's coming out of Alberta, though. That could bring some freezing rain to parts of northern Saskatchewan. Right now, alerts are only in place for Alberta, but we'll talk about that later on.
The city is looking to take a more active role in mitigating the rate of Dutch elm disease spreading across the city. The city reported its first case of Dutch elm disease in 2015. Since then, more trees have been infected, increasing from 11 in 2024 to 41 in 2025. The city says Dutch elm disease is now widespread and nearly impossible to prevent moving forward. It's now looking at switching from prevention to active management to slow the loss of trees. The city estimates entire established neighborhoods with elm trees will see a big visual impact. It says the best case scenario is losing 2% of elm trees every year, which would mean chopping down roughly 550 trees per year. The city is pausing some proposed changes for the Miller Avenue and 51st Street intersection. City administration is looking to make the intersection safer and easier to navigate by getting more vehicles through quicker. The biggest change would see traffic leaving businesses on Miller Avenue only able to turn right instead of being able to cross traffic. There would also be dedicated left turning lanes from Miller on 51st Street. Councillors at this afternoon's transportation meeting weren't pleased with administration not working closely enough with businesses who will be affected by the changes.
If I can't make a left-hand turn into a business, I just decide not to go to that business and go elsewhere. So in terms of a fast food restaurant, whether it be McDonald's or Tim Hortons, if I can't make a left turn into it, the route I need to go, I'm just going to go somewhere else. Very concerned for the businesses along this area, and I think there needs to be more impact study on this before we approve anything.
Council voted down the $6 million changes until administration meets with business owners again to discuss other solutions. The province has announced a one-year extension of a program that aims to provide more housing in Saskatchewan. The secondary suite incentive was initially introduced in 2023. It's intended to increase the availability of secondary suite rental units by paying up to $35,000 in construction costs to create a second unit at a homeowner's primary residence. Saskatoon MLA and Cabinet Minister Ken Cheveldayoff was on hand at the announcement this morning.
We all know rent controls don't work. They limit supply, and those that are advocating for that just have not thought that through. The way to make sure that rental rates are affordable in our city and our province is to make sure we have more supply, and that's why we're so pleased that this program is working so well.
The province says the secondary suite incentive has helped create nearly 1,000 new units since it began. The provincial government is making changes to benefits under its SAID disability program. Recipients will now be paid a set rate for some niche benefits instead of the actual cost. The government says it will simplify the process, but the NDP opposition calls it a cut. Wayne Mantika has more.
The provincial government is combining 30 niche benefits under the SAID program into 5 broad categories. Recipients will now receive a flat rate benefit rather than reimbursement for some actual costs.
We've been hearing from not only the recipients of SAID, but community-based organizations that help with applications, and even some in the ministry saying, it's pretty cumbersome. There's a lot of categories. It's a little on the confusing side.
It includes items like incontinence supplies, maternity clothing, and the cost of care for service animals.
With the addition of flat rate benefits in some cases, individuals don't necessarily have to provide receipts every month. So it actually gets their payments out quicker. The processing time is faster.
The NDP opposition says it amounts to a cut in benefits.
When times get tough, this is not who we are in Saskatchewan. We don't punch down on the most vulnerable people.
Advocacy groups like the Regina Anti-Poverty Ministry have concerns.
No, I mean, if the said basic rates were sufficient to kind of meet actual basic needs, it would be one thing. But when they don't, and when they fall thousands of dollars a year below doing that, you really need to have significant special needs provisions.
The government believes that the changes will ensure that said recipients receive all the benefits that they are entitled to in the simplest and quickest way possible. Some critics argue that said benefits are insufficient to begin with. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A nurse from Saskatoon who traveled to Ukraine to help during the war is back home and launching a new project with local dance groups. As Carla Shinkrick tells us, the goal is to support children in Ukraine who are unable to attend school because of power outages caused by bomb strikes.
This adult Ukrainian dance class was started by Tanya Baran nearly 20 years ago. She says dance has always been about more than movement. It's about community and connection. She's a registered nurse in Saskatoon and has traveled to Ukraine 7 times since the war began in 2022. She serves as a medical lead for Ukrainian Patriot, providing care and coordinating aid. Each visit comes with new challenges, including during her most recent 3-month trip.
This time around, it was definitely much more difficult with Russia hitting our infrastructure. We were limited to power and heat and water.
Baran says even though the war is no longer making headlines every day, the need on the ground remains urgent.
When somebody like myself comes and heads to a battalion and finds out that I'm from Canada and that I'm traveling to help and bring aid, they are over the moon grateful that they haven't been forgotten about.
Her commitment has inspired others in the dance community to help in any way they can.
We're always thinking about her when she's over there, so anything we can do from here to help, we'll jump right at it. And I'm not Ukrainian myself.
Raya Zuzak joined the group after the war broke out, saying it was a way to show solidarity.
I've never been part of this group when she wasn't going on the front lines, so obviously it's inspiring, it's scary.
Now, with the help of her dancers, Baran is raising funds through events like a steak night later this month. The money will support resilience sessions for children who can't attend school due to power outages.
For even just an hour or an hour and a half, and you see them come out of their shell.
She plans to return to Ukraine this fall to continue her work, bringing supplies and support to those on the front line. Carla Shinkrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
A Prince Albert paramedic is retiring after 5 decades of service. Jasmine Pelche on how he saw paramedicine evolve over the years.
Pat Belisle is hanging up his uniform at the end of March.
I started off with a 1961 GMC panel truck with 2 oxygen small tanks inside it, a stretcher, and that was about it.
After 50 years as a paramedic, the last 38 spent in Prince Albert, Belisle was around to see the field become what it is today.
When I first came here, there was 8 full-time, and I think it was 14 casual. Now we're pushing the 100 mark, such, plus we have dispatch as well.
Belisle spent the beginning of his career in Alberta, where he eventually became assistant director of the Medicine Hat ambulance service.
We did do a train wreck in Medicine Hat, so there was the evacuation of all of Riverside area. Turned out me and my partner were the only one that transported an actual patient out of the train wreck there, but that was written up in Carleton University at that time.
He became an advanced care paramedic shortly after the job was created in the 1970s and was in his college's 2nd ever graduating class. He says that the people he's met, including patients and healthcare workers, have been a highlight of his career.
I've transferred an awful lot of people that are 100 years and better, and it was great. One of them was the last midshipman out of England that actually was on and trained on a sailing ship.
Belial is looking forward to retirement, which he says will be spent working in the community and walking his dog. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
A Saskatoon staple won't be going ahead this winter. The Kinsman Club of Saskatoon says it is pausing its annual sports celebrity dinner. It's the first time the winter dinner won't take place since 1959. Over the past 67 years, the dinner has attracted guest speakers, including Gordie Howe, Maurice Rocket Richard, Joe Montana, and Wayne Gretzky, to share some lesser-known stories and raise money for the Kinsman Club. Kinsman says it will regroup and return stronger when the timing aligns. The Gordon Oaks Red Bear Student Center celebrated a milestone on campus today. The building has been in existence for 10 years, and both staff and students marked the occasion. The Gordon Oaks Center is dedicated to supporting the academic success of Métis, First Nation, and Inuit students at the University of Saskatchewan. A handful of students use the anniversary as an opportunity to share how the center has supported them throughout their education.
I'm having a hard day. The center's here for me. If I need like a friend to talk to, the center's here for me. If you're hungry, the center's here for you. I mean, really, if I have anything that I need ever, the center has a program or someone here to help, and they want to help us. That's their goal. So yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot.
The center offers a number of sessions, including elder and knowledge keeper services. Still to come, a look at who is behind bars in Saskatchewan. Also mourning the loss of 3 junior hockey players killed in Alberta. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. The community of Stavely in southern Alberta is in mourning tonight. Residents trying to make sense of the tragic deaths of 3 junior hockey players. They were on their way to practice when their car collided with a gravel truck. CTV's Kathy Lee on how people are coping in a community that is closely tied.
The population of Stavely is just over 500 people. It's one of those small southern Alberta towns where everybody knows everybody, and the deaths of these 3 young players has really hit this community hard. This is a memorial outside the Stavely Agricultural Society, the arena where the Southern Alberta Mustangs played. The jerseys of 17-year-old Caden Fine, who is from Birmingham, Alabama, and 18-year-old JJ Wright and Cameron Casorso, both from Kamloops, BC, have been laid out. Community members have been dropping by, lighting candles, dropping off flowers, and paying tribute to the 3 players.
It broke my heart to find out that these hockey players, so young, with bright futures, lost their lives so young.
These kids become part of our family. They're just, yes, they're part of the community, but they're also part of our families too.
The crash happened yesterday morning as the players were on their way to practice when they collided with a semi-truck pulling gravel. This was just outside of the town on a major highway in southern Alberta. RCMP said this morning the investigation is still ongoing, but do not believe this is criminal in nature.
That passenger vehicle would have had to come across 2 lanes of Highway 2 to get into the median, and then proceed across the other 2 lanes to get into that entrance to Stavely.
RCMP say the driver of the semi is okay. Some community members have complained about the dangers of the intersection in the past. The team did release a statement saying they are family, and right now their family is hurting. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Stavely, Alberta.
The Humboldt Broncos organization passing along their thoughts to the community on social media, saying there are no words, only heavy hearts. The SJHL team knows all too well the pain of a tragedy like this. It's been almost 8 years since the bus crash that killed 16 people on board and injured 13 others. New information from Statistics Canada shows Indigenous adults continue to be overrepresented in jails and prisons. Jacob Carr has more on the numbers and why Saskatchewan is no exception.
Indigenous adults in Saskatchewan are incarcerated at the highest rate in the country compared to non-Indigenous people in the province, according to the latest numbers from Statistics Canada. FSIN Vice Chief Craig McCallum says it all starts with the systems in place for Indigenous youth in the province.
There's around 950 youth that are out on community sentences or bail right now. in Saskatchewan. And I think about those youth and what sort of rehabilitation are they getting right now?
He says Indigenous youth in the justice system need access to therapy, counseling, addiction treatment, and cultural programming. And the Saskatchewan stats among Indigenous adults in jail back up his thoughts. In the province, Indigenous adults are incarcerated at a rate 19.4 times higher than non-Indigenous adults. The next highest province out of the 6 that provided data is Alberta at 10.2 times higher.
The bad news is that these stats are real and they're getting worse. The good news is there's also a lot of good work being done, particularly by Indigenous organizations, Indigenous communities, Indigenous families, and Indigenous individuals that are helping to change these trends.
Those organizations, according to McCallum, include the FSIN. He harkens back to the correlation between Indigenous youth offenders leading to a higher rate of Indigenous adults being incarcerated.
We're trying to come up with a better strategy, a better way of helping these young people heal. It's going to come down to, again, the will. Do people actually want to change these systems? Are they serious about it?
McCallum says progress has been slow, but he is hopeful for the future as the FSIN sits down and has conversations with the provincial government and other Indigenous organizations. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A somber repatriation ceremony was held today for a Canadian soldier who died in Latvia last week. The body of Sebastian Helmagian arrived at CFB Trenton this afternoon. The 24-year-old gunner from Hamilton, Ontario, was part of Operation Reassurance. It's a Canadian-led NATO deterrence and defense mission in Central and Eastern Europe. The circumstances of his death are being investigated. He served in the Canadian military for almost 3 years. His father says his son was proud to be in the Canadian Armed Forces and felt he was doing something to help his country. The mission taking Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen to the moon has been postponed until at least March. NASA had been planning to launch on Sunday, but there were hydrogen fuel leaks during a test of the rocket yesterday. But a lot of data was gathered during the dress rehearsal that will help in future launches. The Artemis 2 mission will see Hansen and 3 colleagues traveling around its far side of the moon and back to Earth. Another crew is set to land on the lunar surface next year. A former prime minister was honored in the nation's capital today, nearly 20 years after he was elected to office. Stephen Harper's official portrait was unveiled at the Sir John A. Macdonald building in downtown Ottawa today. It was painted by Canadian artist Phil Richards. Canada's 22nd prime minister was sworn in February 2006 and served in the role until November of 2015. He was the first leader of the new Conservative Party of Canada.
I'm Lisa Bayless.
And I'm Mark Claxton.
And we play Todd and Michelle in 25th Street Theatre's production of The Watch List.
It's a show about a family getting together to celebrate a birthday.
But the party might just tear them apart.
It's funny.
And heartbreaking.
And it will keep you on the edge of your seat right till the very end.
So don't miss 25th Street Theatre's production of The Watch List, running February 4th to 14th in the Backstage stage at the Remy Arts Centre.
Information and tickets at 25thstreettheatre.org. Drive safe. Make sure to check the roads.
Hey, Jeff, what's the weather going to be like?
Well, those roads are going to be probably pretty mushy because it's going to be another mild day as we head towards opening night, even though we have 2 preview nights. But opening night is going to be Friday at the Backstage stage, the Ramey Arts Centre, which is, of course, the home of Persephone Theatre. Showtime, the curtain goes up at 7:30, -1 for a daytime high, so way above seasonal conditions, cloudy skies. And once again, to get more information and get those tickets, 25thstreettheatre.org is the website to head to. Let's take a look at our current conditions. Right now, it is -2 in Saskatoon. We've got ourselves -2 as well on the Battlefords, -4 in Prince Albert, and not particularly windy in all 3 locations. Saskatoon's daytime high, -2 degrees. It's been pretty much -2 all afternoon, and that's our current temperature. -10 degrees is typical for this time of year. 6 degrees, the warm temperature record from 1954, and once again, the cold temperature record is from 1893. On this date, -48, and that still stands. Thank goodness. The sun went down at 5:58.
Coming up, the BC man with an excellent idea. What he's kept for years, that's no yoke.
biggest high school basketball tournaments in the province is back. Wednesday on Your Morning, we're sending our hoop star Janelle Lippi out to tee up the Luther Invitational.
Welcome back, and we have kind of a lovely sky and not much in the way of wind. You can see the exhaust from one of the buildings going straight up pretty much. So things are looking not too bad, at least in terms of our conditions, but parts of northern Saskatchewan might see some snow. There might be some freezing rain moving in. We're going to talk about that a little later on. But you can certainly see the area of active weather in British Columbia making its way into Alberta. So right now there are some freezing rain warnings in effect for a goodly portion of northern Alberta. We'll show you that in just a minute or two, but still plenty of mild conditions or a mild air mass hanging around, and that Pacific air is making such a huge difference in our numbers as we go forward in the next few days. -2 degrees in Saskatoon and the Battleford's -4 in Prince Albert. Oh, and hey, that was just a little sneak peek of a sky cam. 9 degrees in Maple Creek, Meadow Lake -16 degrees, so still pretty darn warm. Considering yesterday's cold temperature for the province was -34, and today it's -16, so yes, it is mild across the province. -2 degrees right now in Lloydminster and Saskatoon, and Estevan, 1 on the plus side, and Swift Current -3 in Regina, -4 in Yorkton. Into the central part of our province and parts of northern Grainbelt, really not much of a temperature range here. Yes, it is 4 degrees, but it's 0 in Rosetown, but then just about everyone else hanging around that -3 degree mark, so that's what we'll talk about there. But up north, it's a little colder, -20 in Stony Rapids, -19 in Collins Bay, but look at this jump up to -5, and that's in La Ronge, -6 in Buffalo Narrows, 6 on the plus side in Maple Creek. Many other locations, though, at least in the western side of the province, around the 0 degree mark, but then it drifts off towards -4 degrees as we make our way towards the Manitoba border, -4 in Indian Head, Melville, and Broadview. On to our details for our computer modeling. So there is that system sliding in from Alberta. You can see the center of that low crossing northern Alberta into northern Saskatchewan, and the purple indicates snow, but there's certainly some rain-snow mix and some rain associated with this system, so I'll have to keep our eye on the timing on this. So as I mentioned, right now a big chunk of Alberta, a little bit of BC under a freezing rain warning in northern areas, and that hasn't been issued for any northern areas of Saskatchewan, but that could change. All right, around the province we go. So Stony Rapids and Key Lake, expecting some snow tomorrow, but still quite mild conditions. And for many of these locations that we're showing you right now in northern Saskatchewan, these temperatures are about 14 degrees above seasonal. Warm conditions for west central Saskatchewan, basically around 5 degrees for tomorrow under cloudy or mainly cloudy skies. 14 on the plus side for Maple Creek, 6 for Leader, 4 for Outlook, 7 but windy conditions in Swift Current. Temperatures of 2 or 3 degrees for Yorkton, Regina, and Estevan, a little warmer in Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw expected to hit 6 degrees tomorrow, and temperatures hovering around 2 or 3 degrees on the plus side with mainly cloudy or cloudy skies in east central Saskatchewan. The Battleford's dropping down to -5 tonight. Risk of freezing drizzles, slight chance of flurries, and maybe some fog patches showing up. Tomorrow, cloudy and 4 degrees. And then look at this on Thursday, 5 degrees, -1 on Friday. Plus temperatures on Saturday and Sunday, -3 on Monday and Tuesday, still above seasonal by a long shot. A similar pattern for Prince Albert, chance of flurries, risk of freezing drizzle, fog patches, -7 degrees overnight. 4 tomorrow for a high. Not particularly windy on Wednesday, 5 on Thursday. Cooling off a bit, but still above seasonal on Friday, -6, and then -1 on Saturday and Sunday, and still mild on Monday and Tuesday. And in Saskatoon, slight chance of flurries, risk of freezing drizzle, fog patches, -7 degrees, winds from the southwest at 15. The winds shift around a little bit and get a little stronger, 4 degrees with mainly cloudy skies on Wednesday. And then we've got ourselves 6 big degrees under mainly sunny skies on Thursday. It's going to feel tropical. -1 on Friday, Saturday and Sunday on the plus side, and temperatures of around -3 degrees for Monday and Tuesday. Joy to the World by Three Dog Night, the #1 song of 1971. And the person on lead vocals, Chuck Negron, passed away on Monday at the age of 83. His publicist says he died of complications from heart failure and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Of Three Dog Night's many hits, Negron sang lead on some of the most memorable, including one, an old-fashioned love song, Easy to Be Hard, and The Show Must Go On. The music video for Taylor Swift's song Wildest Dreams has just hit 1 billion views on YouTube. That's billion with a B. It first premiered in August of 2015, starring Scott Eastwood. The track is from her 5th album, 1989. It's now the 6th music video by Swift to join the Billion Views Club. SNL is about to get heated. Heated Rivalries' Connor Story has been confirmed as host on February 28th. SNL has already taken on Heated Rivalry with its Heated Wizardry sketch. Now they will welcome one of the show's co-stars. The musical guest will be Mumford & Sons.
All right, Jeff, I heard you talking about nut flakes earlier today.
That's right. And you know what? When you think nut flakes, you say, let's go to church. We are here at Nut Flakes. That's, of course, in the basement of Christchurch Anglican. And with me is Reverend Mark Kleiner. So first of all, nice to be here.
Great to have you here, JR. Thank you so much for coming.
5th anniversary of Nut Flakes.
Yeah, we started this. This is our 5th year, and so we're celebrating all year long with various events beginning this Saturday. We're just thrilled to be inviting folks to become a part of the celebration.
And for people who don't know what Nut Flakes is, it is, in short strokes,
it's a video store in the church basement. We languished for over a century without a video store, and eventually we righted that wrong and opened it up. Modest intentions, the short-term plan to open a video store, the long-term plan, take down Silicon Valley.
There you go, there you go, aim high. Obviously, this has been not just a way for people to be entertained, but you've been raising money for CHEP over the years, but you also have a big, speaking of helping out the community, you've got a big event coming up on Saturday.
Yes, we are supporting a refugee family. They're overseas. They have family members here, so we're looking to reunite this family here in Saskatoon. We have been supporting 2 families who've been living as refugees over the last few years. One of them arrived this past November, so we're thrilled that they're now in our community. And this second family, we've been working to bring them here, like I say, to reunite them with family members already in our city for a number of years. So the effort continues this Saturday.
All right. What time do things get underway on Saturday?
Doors at 5:30. The feast begins at 6 p.m. It's entirely free to come. Free will donations are gratefully received. It's going to be a night of Karen food, music, dance.
All right, so that big event is happening on Saturday. And I should ask, when is Nut Flakes open?
2 days a week, Friday and Saturday, for your convenience.
Ooh.
All right, Jeff, time for Pick of the Day. What do you have?
We have 3, and they all celebrate the outdoors. So let's start off with this one. Yes, this comes to us from Bonnie. Sundog after the frigid temperatures near Radisson. Our next one is from Cindy, and she simply tells us Steep Creek. So that's a lovely shot there in the lovely sky. And finally from Danielle, I wanted to share the igloo my husband built in the backyard in Saskatoon. Beautiful weather yesterday allowed us to be outside with the kids and finish up the project. And it's a great looking project. It looks like marshmallows. So thank you for sharing that with us, Danielle. There we go. And if maybe that came in from Tony, I'll have to double check that. And if you want to send something to us, there's the place you go to do exactly that.
Still to come on CTV News, going to great lengths to keep childhood memories alive. The BC man who was all cracked up about a special keepsake. This next story is about a BC man who never has to worry about running out of eggs. That's because he's kept the same one in his fridge for 6 decades now. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains why.
When David Jevney was almost 6 years old, he woke up before his parents on Easter morning, took a raw egg out of the fridge, and drew a face on it.
Why not? Doesn't everybody draw a face on an egg at Easter and put it back in the fridge?
David doesn't remember why he did it or why his parents kept it, but he can't forget it being a constant while growing up.
And when you open the fridge door, you would always see it looking back at you.
More than a decade later, after David moved out, the egg stayed put.
A little bit of family history.
Does it have a name?
Egbert. With 2 G's. There's no better name for an egg. It's the only name for an egg.
Egbert remained in his parents' fridge, uncracked and uncooked for 50 years, until they passed away and David packed it up to move in with him and his wife, Lise.
The reaction was probably, oh my goodness, okay, well, do we have to take it to the next house we're moving to?
But after moving with the egg 5 times since, Lise has grown to appreciate it every day.
It's like, oh, right, there's Egbert. So good morning. Yeah, I haven't said good morning, but I'm probably saying it in my mind to him. Yeah.
And soon they'll be saying happy birthday to him. Because although Egbert's insides have started rattling,
he's still in there.
His outside remains unscathed.
Not one crack.
Egbert's kind of inspirational.
He is. He's strong.
And he's set to celebrate being 60 years old.
How long is Egbert going to stay in the fridge?
Forever. As long as I'm here. And the older you get, the neater it is.
And the older we get, the more precious we realize life is. So when we can find something that connects us with our past and improves our present, why not preserve it into the future?
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.
When we come back, how one woman is helping to put others in the driver's seat. And later, the happy feet, happy to just be inside.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at tomorrow's rural forecast, and fairly consistent temperatures in and around that 5-degree mark. Now, 5 degrees on the plus side for many of these locations north and south of the Yellowhead. That is about 15 degrees above seasonal. So give or take a couple of points. Still quite warm towards the eastern side of the province. As you can see, Hudson Bay, Melfort, Watrous at 3 degrees, 2 for Wynyard. And then as we make our way into southern Saskatchewan, we'll look at that. Maple Creek 14, 8 in East End, close to that in Rockland and Coronach. Cools off to 2 degrees in Broadview and Kenora, or rather Carlisle and Kenora, but Broadview in at 3 degrees. Let's check in on Sturgis. I don't know if they still have the giant sports day, but when I was growing up, they did. It was huge. I think it was the biggest I think they used to say the biggest one in Canada, but maybe at least in Saskatchewan. 2 degrees, winds out of the south, 20 gusting to 40, so a cloudy day in Sturgis. And Sturgis is one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Greetings, everyone. Long ago, the deep winter months were a quieter time on the prairies, making it a perfect time for those living here to practice the art of storytelling. The tradition carries on as February celebrates Indigenous Storytelling Month. The University of Regina kicked off the month by hosting a few storytellers introducing themes and ideas unique to Indigenous storytelling.
And the thing is, the reason why we want to do that is to open everybody's eyes and let them see us as more than just the fabled First Nations person. Like, we have a culture, we have our language, we have our stories, we have our own knowledge keepers. And our culture is not dying, it's still alive and well, and we're proving it.
There are storytelling events planned throughout February across Saskatchewan. We now take you to Edmonton, where a new mode of transportation is starting up. An Indigenous woman originally from Peters and Alcomas's Cree Nation is offering an alternative driving service to those looking to feel safe and comfortable. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Hi, it's Regan with She Drives.
Regan Gamble is helping Indigenous women get to their destinations safely, one call at a time with She Drives.
When I pull up somewhere and they have the smile and, you know, they get into the back seat and it's instant. It's like this instant bond.
Gamble is a residential school survivor. She says her past helped inspire her to create She Drives.
I feel all of the pain and everything inside that I had to endure and just want to turn it into purpose.
According to the Assembly of First Nations, Indigenous women make up 16% of female homicide victims. Gamble says Indigenous people often face discrimination and can feel uneasy driving with strangers.
I think it means a lot for Indigenous women because a lot of times we don't feel safe riding.
Nadine Cutarm has used She Drives twice. She's had bad experiences with Ubers and taxis and wanted an alternative option.
It just felt like I knew her. She made me feel really comfortable, and it was a really good ride.
Gamble says there's no limits of where she'll go to take people from point A to point B. She wants She Drives to be more than just a ride, but also a business you can trust when you're in trouble.
There have already been a couple of instances where a mother called and she was so distraught, and her daughter was in a domestic with her boyfriend.
While some people might not want to talk during a taxi ride, Gamble wants to be an emotional support.
Every day it's such a gift, every ride, because there's something that I take from it, and there most definitely is something that they take as well.
Because sometimes the journey is just as important as the destination. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
It looks like the Saskatchewan Roughriders are ready to move on without returner Mario Alford. Today, they announced the signing of former Alouette James Letcher Jr.
Net bunting average. James Letcher. Oh, he manages to find some room down the sideline. Letcher's still going. Picks up a block. He is gone.
In 3 seasons with Montreal, Letcher Jr. had 2 punt return touchdowns and a touchdown catch. In 2024, he was second in the league for punt return yards with 924. He did not play in last year's Grey Cup, listed as a healthy scratch. One of Canada's big banks has to pay a big fine. Marilla Fernandez explains.
BMO is being dinged $4 billion by the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. The agency says the bank was charging clients monthly fees that should have been waived. Over 100,000 customers were affected between 2010 and 2024. BMO's already issued more than $3 million in refunds. The watchdog says the bank received more than 500 customer complaints about the fees, but was negligent in detecting the error. BMO says it holds itself to the highest standards of conduct. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 73.34. West Texas Intermediate is up over $1 to 63.21. Western Canadian Select is down over $3 to 47 flat. And the TSX gained 204 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up, when the cold gets too much, you do a happy dance inside. And bringing new meaning to parade floats.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV starting at 7 with Will Trent. Now your second favorite show.
Yeah, well, you know, this is the favorite one, right? Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's
okay,
exactly
good.
what I meant.
Okay,
well, it's been cold in New York City lately. Too cold for even these guys. Take a look. These penguins have been moved indoors at the Long Island Aquarium. To be fair, they are endangered South African penguins, and their waterproof feathers just aren't built for the Arctic air. But look how happy they look to be inside.
Yes, they can't wait to do they're not doing banking commercials anymore, are they?
I don't know.
Just Red Bull stuff.
Taking a vacation, some time off, maybe.
Exactly, maybe.
Well, a floating parade kicked off the 2026 Venice Carnival. A giant floating papier-mâché rat, yes, we know it's a little weird, led the procession of boats and floats that wound their way through the city's canals on Sunday. The 2-week festival has an Olympic theme with the Winter Games set to start nearby on Friday. And you have a quick correction for us?
Yeah, well, quick correction. Yes, that picture of the igloo was from Tony Rempel, and I'll have a different picture with the right description for tomorrow. The rat is called the Pantagana, and it is a symbol of Venice's resilience. It's their connection to their maritime history. So I guess rats are tough. There you go.
Yes. You did look it up. Thank you.
I did look it up.
Thanks for watching.
The I-Team.